Today we're looking at New Perspective Access 2016, Module 1, SAM Project 1A. So we'll start by renaming the file. Let's make sure we make it 2 at the end, and then click Save. Enable content. Step number 1. We're starting by creating a new table called Table Client. So let's go and say create. So we're going to create it in the data sheet view. So that's going to be this one, this option. And we're going to save this as Table Client. Okay. And then we're going to change the ID field. So ID field is this one. We're going to change it, change the name of the ID field. So we can go to fields and names and caption. And then I'm going to change that to client ID. No space in between. Click OK. And then the data type is going to be short text. I'm going to change that as well to short text. And the next step is we are going to add a few more different fields. So to do this, you can click over here, and then all of them are going to be, rest of the fields are going to use short text as the data type. So select short text. And the first one is first name, tab, short text, last name, press tab key, short text, address, tab key, and select short text, city, press tab key in your keyboard, short text, state, tab, and the last one is again short text, and then we use zip as the name of the field. That's it, and then we're done. So we have created the fields, first name, last name, address, city, state, and zip in that order. And now we can move to the second step. With Table Client, table still open in the datasheet view, enter the records shown in the table 1. If necessary, resize the address field to best fit the data it contains. And then we're going to close the table and save if needed. So the data that we're going to enter, we're going to enter 2 records. The first record has A127, tab, Jenny, Len, 20, Avenue, with short form with period at the end. Just make sure you are careful about the spellings. All right, so we're done with step number 2. So just make sure you have everything there. Adjust the address if needed so that you can show everything. You can also double click to perfectly fit the content. Just make sure you move the mouse pointer so that you get this double bidirectional arrow here, and then click and drag or double click. Moving on to step number 3, open. So we're going to save this and close it first. Right click, save, and then we're going to close it. And moving on to the next step, open table location table, which is this one in the datasheet view. So let's just double click on it. That's going to open in the datasheet view. And then we're going to change the name of the ID field. So this is the very first one, is the ID field. Make sure you click on fields, and then we're going to change the name and caption. So here the name of the ID field is location ID, and click OK. And then the data type is again short text. And then we're going to save the table quickly, but we're not going to close it. Step number 4, with the table location table still open, the datasheet view, change the data type of the location opened, which is this one here. So let's just adjust that so that we can see everything. Location opened, we're going to change this data type. So I'm going to select that field and then change the data type here to date and time. All right, and then we're going to save it again. I click save, it's done. And then, so here in the datasheet view, enter the record shown in the table below. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's quickly done with these 2 records. Just adjust the address so that you can see everything. Just make sure you have period here, avenue 1 period, and then drive. There's no comma there. And once you have entered that, you can go to the next step. So we're going to close this table, save it and close it. So go ahead and close it. It's going to ask you to save. Go ahead and say yes. We're looking at step number 6. So the next thing is we're going to copy some record from table gym in the support. So you can download this from Sam. Download this, and then so to open it, I have already opened it here. I'm just going to bring it up. So this table gem from the support file has just 2 records. Okay, so we're going to just make sure you have enabled content. You don't see that yellow bar at the top. So if it is not enabled, you will not be able to copy it. And then you can copy this. I'm going to select it and then select copy from here, from the clipboard in home. And then you go back to your equipment table. So your table equipment is right over here. Double click on that. I think you can open it. And then we're going to paste it below this. So here we're going to click new record. Click paste and paste append. It says you're about to paste 2 records. Are you sure you want to paste these records? Say yes. So that step is done. So we are going to close the equipment table. Right click, close. Moving on to step number 7. Use simple query wizard to create a query based on table trainer table as described below. So it's a simple query wizard that we have to use here. So let's select table trainer and then go and click create. It's going to be a wizard that we're going to use, query wizard. Click on that, and then it's a simple query wizard. So click OK here. And we're going to include the first name. Select the first name from the table trainer. Just make sure you have selected the trainer. That's what we want to use, table trainer. Make sure you select the table trainer. Okay. And then we're going to select first name, last name, specialty, And once you have these 3 fields selected, you click next. And now we're going to name this as query specialty. All right. And then you click finish. So this is a new query. You can see it's under query called query specialties. And now you can close this query. We're moving on to the next step, which is step number 8. You now want to create a simple form to allow employees to update the information on trainers employed in that particular fitness center. So we are going to select table trainer here. So I selected that already. And then we're going to create a simple form. So it's pretty easy. So select the table, and then you go and click on the form under create. Create, and the forms grouping, you click on form. So that's going to create a simple form there. All right. So now we're going to save the form. So to do that, we're going to say save. Here we're going to say FRM. So that's a prefix, FRM trainer. And we're going to click OK. All right. So if you look at this, it is in a layout view. Okay, so we are in the layout view. We want to move to a form view. So just go to the view in design option, or you can even go from here, right from the tab, and you can select the form view. So form view is where is the one you use to enter data. Select form view. Now we're going to go to the third record. So navigation buttons are right over here. So we're going to click one, that's the second record, and move to the third record. And then we're going to go and change the certification here. So the record train ID is correct. So it's 454 as given over here. We're going to change the certification to ACSM. All right. And then step number 10, we are going to navigate to the last record. So there is the option to go to last record quickly by clicking on the last record button here. That will take you to the last record. Here we're going to change the specialty to strength training. All right. And then we're going to go back to the first record. So to do that, we click over here, first record. And now we're going to close the form. I'm going to right click, close. So that's step number 10. Moving on to step number 11. Use report tool to create report based on the table, equipment table. Okay, so this is easy. So we're going to click on table equipment, and then we're going to go to create, and then click report. That will create a quick table quick report based on the equipment table. We'll close this property sheet so that we can see the table. Now we're going to close this report. Right click on the tab and close. You can see that it's right. Yeah, we did not save this as yet. So we want to save this with the name report equipment list. Okay. So say yes, and then we're going to call that report equipment list. Click OK. right, so we have this new report here we just made. Close this. And the last step, step number 12. You decide to adjust the formatting of report trainer report to make it easy to read and make it fit one page. So report trainer is right over here. So we want to make sure it fits one page, and then it's easy to read. All right. So we're going to do that by opening the report trainer in the layout view. So change this to the layout view. That's the layout view. And then we are going to set the width of the trainer ID to 0.8. So the first field is trainer ID. It's to select any of these fields, doesn't matter. And then just if you have closed the property sheet, you have to click back on the property sheet to open it. Now you see the property sheet. Now we're going to go and change this width here of trainer ID to 0.8. So it says 0.8 here, and then press enter. So that's 0.8 width. That is 12A. And 12B, we are going to change the height of the total here. So you can see that as you change this, the object that you selected change here. It says access total trainer ID. So make sure it changes to that. Now we're going to change the height of this to approximately, you can even do that manually. So that's why they say approximately 0.27 inches. So that's done, 0.27, 0.27, press enter. You can see that now it doesn't get cut off in the middle. It's all okay. So that's step 12B. Step 12C is that we're going to select this page number. So we're going to, once you select it, you can use your arrow keys in your keyboard to move it a bit to the left. So we're gonna keep on pressing the left arrow key to move it so that the edge of that is aligning with the one above. So now it's perfect. You can just adjust it by using just the arrow keys. Okay, so it snaps to that edge. And then we need to align this to right. So as given in the instruction here, and then align, yeah, so it says that, and then right line the text and view it in the print preview. So let's right line the text. So to do that, you go to the format. When it is selected, go to the format, and then you're going to click right align. Okay, so that is all okay. It looks like this one on the screenshot. Let's go to the print preview. You can do that by right-clicking on this and then selecting print preview. Okay, so that gives the print preview option, and it looks like that. All right, so you can now save and close the report, and now you can submit it to the Mind tab. So just make sure you submit, you close this database and then submit it. Good luck.